Off, sponsored by PC Laptops. We're here at Groovy Cinema Pub today to review more movies. I'm Jeff Weiss from X96's Radio from Hell morning program.
And I'm Jimmy Martin with SLUG Magazine.
Our next movie is The Tillman Story, a documentary about late Arizona Cardinals football player Pat Tillman, who joined the Army, went to Afghanistan as part of the Gulf War, was killed, and then was used as the Bush administration, at least according to this film, as a recruitment poster.
Pat Tillman loved the game of football. Yet he loved America even more.
Pat Tillman was the most famous enlisted man in the military.
He thought that going into Afghanistan was the right thing to do.
Times like this, you stop and think about just how good we have it, and the flag is a symbol of all that.
Pat Tillman, who gave up a multi-million-dollar contract in professional football, has been killed.
Yeah, what I like about this film, as much as they want to push it, that this was not what he wanted. It's not his wishes to be a poster child.
Right.
He did not want this. But I love it because they actually don't keep saying Bush administration. They don't focus right there. It's the idea of it, of what they did. You know what I mean? And I actually enjoyed that, because if you start attacking the Bush administration, it's like...
Well, that's played.
Yeah,
that's played.
Everybody's done it. It's been done time and time again. So what I did appreciate about this film is that it was the idea of not doing somebody... Well, first of all, lying to the public, but just not following somebody's wishes after they're gone.
Right.
And that's what hit me the hardest.
Tillman ordered his men up a hill to attack terrorists that had pinned down part of his platoon.
Tillman's voice was heard issuing commands to take the fight to the enemy forces.
Tillman's family will receive the Silver Star.
Pat sacrificed himself so his brothers could live.
I knew that things were going to come out that were going to make that ceremony invalid. They had told me, you need to keep your mouth shut about it.
I was told your career is on the line.
And when somebody tells me something in the Army, you salute and, about face and go get it done.
What they said happened didn't happen, and so you have to set the record straight.
Well, I think the strengths of it, and realistically, the idea is this follows the family's attempts to say exactly who Pat Tillman was,
yes.
Really was. And that is the material that I think is the most important part and the most interesting part. The stuff about whether he was exploited or not, I know that part of the story. Yeah. I care more about who Pat Tillman was.
Yeah, what I love the family members, because I knew him directly, for years and years and years. What I didn't appreciate was when they started interviewing his fellow soldiers, and who to me, and this is just my opinion, acted like they knew him, like they were best friends.
Yes.
And they try to act like they knew who he was, and there's one who feels sorry for him in death, and I pray for him every night like that. And to me, I'm just like, you didn't really know him. And when I'm thinking that, I'm like, I would rather hear more from the family.
Demi committed herself to trying to figure out exactly what happened to her son.
People start asking questions, and then all of a sudden the Tillman story changes.
I just remember Pat yelling his name. I'm Pat Tillman. Why are you shooting at me?
Every piece of evidence that could ever be used is eliminated.
All the generals were lying.
I can't be sure. I can't tell you. It's a guess. I don't know.
I don't recall precisely how I learned that he was killed.
This goes pretty damn high.
To find out that the military were the very people to lie to us, it's outrageous.
In particular, one family member, and that's the younger brother,
exactly.
Who gets exactly one moment in the film, and it's actually a newsreel of his very emotional and messed up speech during the Pat Tillman funeral.
You say messed up, but brutally honest.
Yeah, yes.
It's what Pat Tillman would have said.
Yes.
Because these people are saying, we're praying for you every day, and
God bless you, Pat Tillman.
God bless you. God save, he wasn't religious. And his brother makes that very well known in this, and that was gut-wrenching. Watching that scene.
Yeah, and that's the kind of scene that can make or break a film, and I think that's the scene that actually makes this film.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's one of the scenes for me, because I just think, to me, there wasn't enough as a story in this film. I think it really could have been like a 2020 or a Dateline, Friday night segment, for an hour. And it's not anything to
except then we wouldn't have gotten to hear the colorful language that he and his family used.
That's true. Yeah, it would be very subtle, or you'd hear a lot of beeps.
Yes.
But it's just, and it's not to degrade the life of a soldier who's fallen, but it's just, everything seems very redundant
right.
in the film, and so I kept thinking like there's not as much as a story I think as you would hope that there was in this film.
Yeah, yes. The director Amir Barlev made a much better film called My Kid Could Paint That.
Oh.
And this is much more by the numbers documentary filmmaking.
Yeah.
It's possibly good that he had a much more interesting story this time around to work with, so his by the number filmmaking couldn't exactly ruin it for him.
Yeah.
Again, that scene alone, the real cemetery and funeral scene made the film for me, and for that I gave it 3 stars.
I think it could have been played on TV, not with the language. There's just these breaks in it that I really felt like, I was like, there's your commercial break right there. That's, here comes the Ajax commercial. And for that, I give it 2 stars based on entertaining but not worthy of a 90-minute documentary.